My name is David Sirland. I'm the live producer at Dice LA. And we're going to play some propaganda in Chainlink, the new game mode in Dragon's Teeth. The design philosophy behind Dragon's Teeth is infantry play. Focus on infantry play, but still not remove all of the vehicles. But since it is Battlefield after all, this map in particular, not in this mode, but in other modes, have tanks and is very open in this area that I'm running now, as you can see. Chainlink is basically a mix between domination and conquest. On the infantry side, it's quick captures, and then your points, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, is counted on the links you have, not the amount of points, or amount of conquest flags, or flags you have captured. So the strategy becomes a little bit different than from what you're used to, especially since you can also spawn on these flags. So once you have a flag, you can spawn, and your whole team can spawn. So you can flip the game mode pretty quickly in terms of how it looks on the map. And if you look at the map, you can see we have 3 links, and they have 1 that's being contested right now. So you want to break the links, obviously. So if they were smart now, they would go for E or F to break our points. And this is also more infantry focused, so there's less vehicles. I think there's only transport vehicles on this map. It depends on the map a little bit, but you don't have the tanks, you don't have like any flying things or anything. So it's more about you and your squad, and kind of like, I would say, a big brother to domination for public play. And yeah, it's much more fast-paced, and it flows really well. And normally, you can still get run over by a team in this, obviously, but normally you can always flank around and make them suffer for not being able to defend everything. You get thinned out. As you can see, there's a lot of points, so you can't cover them all. You kind of have to pick your battles and pick the place where you would defend. So now we're playing Sunken Dragon in Chainlink, and as you can tell, it is pre-drained, this area. We can start here, I guess. So this is a drain facility where you control the dam, which someone else is trying to do, and that will drain and I'm not sure if you pressed it already, drain and fill the lake again. So you see now it's drained, which means this whole building is listing and sitting on the bottom of the lake. When you fill it again, it stays there, so it changes the gameplay 3 times, if you will. So it starts floating as a normal boat restaurant would. I've never seen one that big, but you know, a boat restaurant, it floats there, and then when you drain it, it ends up on the bottom and breaks apart. And you fill it again, the water fills up in the bottom level, you can swim in, you get some jet skis instead, spawning and so on. So it's very dynamic, changes gameplay, and that's with all these Re-Levolution, the big ones at least, like this one and the other one we're going to see later, they're all gameplay affecting. They change the way the map plays, the way you would play it as an infantry guy, and I think that's the big difference here. And from an art perspective, I mean, we looked at the big one, obviously the Siege of Shanghai skyscraper, and we wanted something kind of as epic, but also changing gameplay to that kind of degree without doing the same thing again, obviously. And that is what we'll see on the final map, I think. So this map is a very organic map. If I show the map here, you see there's a little of the square rectangular shapes that tend to be infantry map focused because of buildings and roads and like that. So this is a park, and it's still an infantry map. This map is probably a map that people that like to snipe are gonna like. There's a lot of elevated things on the map where you can, for instance, this train station. I'll go into here, and you can kind of overlook the map and do a lot of damage from afar. But also it has all these nooks and crevices where you can hide, and when the Re-Levolution hits, it changes even more drastically in that matter. Also have a lot of little, let me see if I can get a view. I have to jump. A lot of waterways where you can take a jet ski and kind of circumvent and go around the other team, and capture the flag, for instance, which I believe we will play too. That's a really valid tactic to get to where you want to go quickly without getting shut down. That was the kind of philosophy behind this map, to a more organic map that doesn't have all the square buildings, and it's not a city per se. There's a city around it, there's some city areas, especially if you play in Conquest over there by G or E, I think. But mainly it's a lush garden, and we wanted it to look pristine as well. I mean, this is basically in the storyline of this pack. The Chinese retreated from the coastal cities of Asia and left camps of refugee camps and fortifications and stuff like that. But nothing's destroyed. There's not been a war here yet. And we wanted to look, pristine. Like, look at this little meadow. It's not been touched yet. So when you play the map, you totally change it from this pristine environment to something very much muddy and broken. So this map, Pearl Market, is very vertical, and in this mode, as you can see, the points are very much squiggled all over the map. So you need to control the vertical here. You need to control the roofs, and if you control the roofs, you control this map. It's one of my personal favorites because it has so much micro destruction. All this, it's kind of like Flood Zone in that sense. It has a lot of rooftop destruction and walls and stuff like that. And you play this map. Either you're gonna love this map or you're gonna dislike it, if you know what I mean, because you have action constantly. It's very intense. Pearl Market in CTF, actually, we implemented CTF in the Dragon's Teeth maps because it really suits the type of gameplay we're after. We want the team to work together, but we want it to be infantry and infantry-focused at least. It's not infantry only. I mean, there's vehicles, but in this mode there's transport vehicles and I believe a transport car, so you can at least defend a little bit. So this map is very vertical. You have to kind of look everywhere. There's so many angles. It's either you play it like you just run and gun and run in and kind of use your twitch skills to maintain sanity, or you try and play this tactically and dominate the rooftops. Probably the best way to do that would be to snipe, and I'm not the best sniper. And in this mode, sniping wouldn't be the best either. Maybe if you... Let's see if I can revive Mr. Jack Frog is here. So we have a couple of new gadgets, especially the Roar Bot. It's a battle pickup, and the reason for that is because we want to make it powerful without unbalancing the game. So basically, if it's a battle pickup, you can pick it up only in the maps where we put it, and in the modes that it makes sense and works and doesn't unbalance anything. So therefore we can make it more powerful. We also want people to use battle pickups. The ones that are in the base game they're there, but they're not really used that much. At least not as much as we would want to. So we kind of looked at that and saw this as an opportunity to use battle pickups more for the stuff that people want. And obviously, let me swap over. The ballistics shield is another gadget that really affects the game, and affects the game in general, because it's available as a gadget on the support class, which of course would be playable on any map in the game. So we utilized the CTE, for instance, to be able to run at least one test round of the balance of that. It had a really powerful bash in the beginning that we tweaked down because you could run into a room and just kill everyone with the shield. The shield is a ballistic shield, so it stops bullets, it doesn't stop explosions and high caliber stuff. So it's also that team play aspect here. We want you to play with this and you be the shield in the front, have your team behind you and get into that hairy little tight spot. Metro and prison or locker kind of comes into mind. Or you can break those stalemates if you know what you're doing and have a good squad with you. The sniper rifle we added is supposedly the best sniper rifle with a silencer on. It's short and it has a lower velocity bullet and less range, I think, for that reason, but it is pretty good on maps like this. So the Bulldog, I'm not the weapons guy, I don't know anything about weapons, I know about the gameplay of the weapons, but the Bulldog is supposed to be the closer range version of the Scar, if I don't recollect incorrectly. Basically it's very effective in a closer range situation, and it has horizontal recoil, more horizontal recoil than the Scar does, which kicks up quite a lot. So it's pretty effective. I have a suppressor on now, so I made it less effective. So let's go into my favorite, the Assault. So we have two guns in this pack. We actually have slightly different unlock tree as well. We want you to try both, so you unlock the Unica first, and you use that to unlock the Desert Eagle, because otherwise we feel people would just jump to the Desert Eagle and like the Unica sucks, and we don't believe it does. It has different uses. I'm not the biggest pistol player because I never play recon, so I don't know exactly what the differences are. I know the Deagle kicks a lot and does a lot of damage, but it kicks a lot, it has a lot of recoil, so it's more of a finisher offer, or if you're really good at countering the recoil, you can use it as a primary weapon almost if you're a sniper in closer quarter combat. The Unica is also kind of kicky, but it has a quicker fire rate for sure, and yeah, it's my favorite out of the two. So that was Dragon's Teeth DLC, out for premium next week. Thanks for watching.